Let's go. Thursday in the Bay. It's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. I'm so damn fired up. We got so much to get to in this hour. Warriors, 105. Nuggets, 108. As the defending champs versus the former defending champs edge them out mile high. Goaltend or not goaltend? Well, it was clearly a goaltend. 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. How did you miss that? They did. And that's going to be a big talking point, I'm sure, today amongst most shows, and maybe a little on this one. 888-957-9570. That's the number to call. Voice your frustrations, or, are you like me today? And looking at that loss says, you know what? A lot of positives to take away. You can't live and die in the NBA 9 games in. You can't be devastated like that. Does it suck? Yeah. Does it hurt a little bit? Sure. But no Draymond Green out for personal reasons, and no Gary Payton II due to an illness. You held your own, and you had a chance to win that game. Now, the last possession, Klay Thompson, missed free throw. Nuggets had a chance to ice it. They couldn't do it at the line. You would like to get a shot off there. But listen, was it going to be a high percentage shot? No, it wasn't. Was Klay shooting the ball well that night? No. But it is what it is. The fascinating thing I saw from this game, and I want to hear from you on Twitch and YouTube as well. We're up and streaming. Shout out Sam Lubman. Clutch getting that up. Big trust right there. Beyond trust, one might say. That's an inside joke. About 10 people know about it. That's all right. Search 95.7 The Game on Twitch or YouTube. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. We're streaming all day long, Monday through Friday, right here on 95.7 The Game, 5 a.m. through 7 p.m. You got me. You got Morning Roast, Steiny Goo, Mark Wheeler, Dan Dibley, Mark Grandy. That's right. The Grandy Man can. Now I'm going to bet that Willy Wonka song's going to be stuck in my head all day. But good morning to all of you. I appreciate you. And also be sure to download the Odyssey app. Favorite 95.7 The Game and thousands of other stations. Music, politics, hunting, food, aliens, rocks, dinosaurs. I'm just naming things off now because that's what the Odyssey app's about. But you can take us anywhere you want to go, more importantly. Find all the Warriors games right there, the palm of your hand. And your home for the Golden State Warriors is 95.7 The Game. As again, Denver Nuggets take out the Golden State Warriors 108-105. We're reacting to that. We'll get into a little bit of what Kyle Shanahan had to say yesterday as he had his weekly presser leading up to a huge matchup this Sunday in Jacksonville. Niners, Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Doug Peterson, Kyle Shanahan, Deebo Samuel, Calvin Ridley. I'm so damn excited. Yeah, Deebo will go. Oh, he was a full participant in practice yesterday, which is a welcome sight. Concerning, though, no Trent Williams. And it sounded like this injury is lingering a little longer than we all thought. Shout out to Cranberries. Do you have to let it linger? Thank you. R.I.P. Dolores O'Riordan. What a beautiful voice. The Golden State Warriors. And I know, we're 9 games in. We don't want to, a loss is a loss. There's no moral victories, and I get all that. But on a night when all of your starters were in the minus category of the plus minus, and all of your bench players were in the positive. When's the last time we saw that for a Golden State Warriors team? Where every single bench member was in the positive of the plus minus, and all the starters were in the negative. That's pretty wild. That just goes to show you the depth that this team has to contend with the Denver Nuggets. Because, as I've said all along, and we saw it even last night, no Jamal Murray. Nikola Jokic is such a problem. This team is so long, athletic, and deep. They didn't shoot well, their starters either. That's the thing. Aaron Gordon, 5 of 14, 14 points, 11 boards. Although, guy was all over the stat sheet. 3 assists, 3 steals, a block. Yeah, not really a block, though. It was a goaltend, but is what it is. Michael Porter Jr., 7 of 17, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, 17 points, 8 boards. And again, you look at the rebounding situation, you would have thought that, you know what? They dominated. No. Warriors won the rebound, 49-45. They won that battle. Where it killed him was Joker going 1 of 8 from beyond the arc, and he still finished with 35 points. 13 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals. He had a block too. It was just, he's unbelievable. He really is. He's a unicorn. He's a hefty unicorn, but a unicorn nonetheless. And it felt like we were watching, I'm not going to say a Western Conference, finals game. I'm not going to say that. But a possible preview. It felt like a big game towards the end there out in Denver. They were getting nervous. Anytime there's a close game and Stephen Curry's on the other side, I can attest, as an opposing fan, at times, I would be nervous as hell. Strikes the fear of God into me. Steph didn't have the greatest shooting night. 6 of 17 overall, 6 of 12 from beyond, 6 of 13 from beyond the arc, I should say. 23 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal. But ultimately, comes down to the little things. You can look at, the overall 3-point percentage, 31%, 11 of 35 overall. Same as the Denver Nuggets. Not much better. So both teams not shooting the 3 ball very well. And you go to the free throw percentage. 20 of 26 for the Warriors, 15 of 22. You lose by 3 points. You can look at a bunch of different things. But what I choose to take away was you were without 2 of your best defensive players in Gary Payton II and Draymond Green. Draymond Green, one of the greatest defenders of all time. Nikola Jokic, future Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, has said that's the guy that gives him the most problems. And, sorry, hashtag squirrel. I see Farhan Zaidi on my TV right now. Sam, you want to roll on that? MLB Network? I just got the look.
We expect to be in on every free agent.
There you go.
There you go. Just pulled it all.
Thank you. That was our Giants talk for the day. But you had Draymond Green out, and you still had a chance to win this game at the end. So 888-957-9570. Dub Nation, how are we feeling about that loss? Good morning to all of you on the YouTube chat, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe there. Rockin' New Era, EJ Gomez, Ernie Chavez, Luis Robertson, Hamza Raja, Velmac. Hey. Oh, Velmac. How about them Lakers, though? No, we're not talking about that. Oh, boy. A Dylan Brooks led team smoked the Lakers by 20 plus points. Gotta wear that one. Lakers stink. Oh my God. I need to get my Stephen A. Smith drop. The Lakers stink. Ugh. Don't even talk about them being a Western Conference or a Western Conference contender, anything. Please. And I already have a hot take, and maybe I'll say it. A LeBron James-led team, a 39-year-old LeBron James-led team, ain't winning jack. I'm sorry. Sooner or later, in basketball, Father Time wins. And LeBron, he can't be your best player on a championship team anymore. And dare I say, he can't be a second best player on a championship team anymore. Is that blasphemy? Is it? Starting to think it's not. Haven't won a game on the road this year. By the way, not good for the other La La Land team either. James Harden, yikes. 0-2 with the Clippers. They haven't won on the road either. So maybe the Western Conference isn't as good or deep as we all thought. Now things change. The Lakers stunk at the beginning of last year too. Revamped, changed their team. They went up going to that Western Conference round. So things can change. The Suns, let's see it with Bradley Beal. Let's see it all, right? Let's see it all. The Nuggets are still the team, though. They're the top tier. They're the Kings. You have to come at them. Not the Sacramento Kings, who got a dub last night over the Portland Trail Blazers. But I was very encouraged. Again, without Gary Payton II and without Draymond Green, I know no Jamal Murray for the Nuggets, so take it with a grain of salt. It did lose some of its sex appeal, but it ended up being a very fun game last night. I feel good about my chances. If this is an early indication of what this team can do against a Nikola Jokic-led team in the Denver Nuggets, and you're the Golden State Warriors, I'm feeling good. Steph Curry, positives in the loss to the Nuggets.
Nobody likes to lose, but you look at the fact that we can play a lot better in the margins and we can execute a little bit better. I think offensively, get a little bit more organized, understanding how they guarded us and what they tried to take away. So, yes, you feel as good as you could after a loss, just knowing the steps we need to take. And, they're the defending champs, like at home and the schedule that we've had. We have a competitive spirit and a togetherness that is, nice to see develop this early in the season.
So there are positives. You hear the voice, and he doesn't sound happy because he lost. That's a competitor. That's the ultimate competitor right there in Stephen Curry. But even he can see the growth of this team, especially from the young guys. And is there any better training experience for a young guy and a young rookie like Trace Jackson Davis than going up against one of the greatest big men in the history of the NBA, and Nikola Jokic? You kidding me? It must have been awesome for him. And he held his own. Here's Steph talking about it.
I think he did great. I mean, Jokic is a beast. He averages whatever he averages against the whole league. So, it's tough to stop him. You just try to make him work. I think after the first possession where he spun baseline and they called foul, I think he kind of understood angles and, just being ready to play and then making him guard him on the other end too. That's what Trace can bring us on both ends of the floor. He got a lob and one, got to the free throw line a couple of times in the second half, made a transition layup where he's putting pressure on their entire team at the rim. So he plays with confidence and he'll understand the nuances of the best center in the league right now, arguably, him and Joel. So it's a tall task, and I think he did a great job.
Not arguably, by the way, it's Nikola Jokic. Should have won his third consecutive MVP last year over Embiid, but he cried to the media. The media, oh, it's okay, Joel. You're right. You should win this year, not Jokic. Please. Jokic's like, I don't care. I'll just go get a finals MVP. Go hang out with my horses. God. Such a joke. I think we were watching the two MVP finalists that's going to be there at the end of the year, though, last night, and Stephen Curry and Nikola Jokic. Is that a hot take? I don't think so. 888-957-9570. That's the number to call if you would like to talk about the Warriors' 105-108 loss at the hands of the Denver Nuggets, the defending champs. A showdown against the past two defending champions. Miguel is out in Hayward, and he wants to join in the conversation. What is going on?
Hey, what's up, you guys? Good morning, man. I just want to say that, I love y'all show. I listen to you guys every day when I get off from work. I love my Warriors team, man. Pretty much, the Warriors should be happy that the game was just 3 points, behind to lose that game. If I'm Curry, Klay Thompson, CP3, like everybody else, I should be happy that the game was this close because, every time when you're about to face the Warriors, you better bring your A game. And, I love my team. I can't wait for the postseason. And that's when everything really matters right there. So go Warriors. I love you guys. You guys take care.
Appreciate you, Miguel. We love you too. 888-957-9570 to call. And again, positives to take away in a loss. You got a chance to win that game. I get it. No Jamal Murray on the other side, but your two best defenders. And yeah, I'm saying two best defenders right now because Andrew Wiggins, what's going on? I mean, I'm 15 minutes into the show, but I know this is going to be the topic of conversation. Andrew Wiggins, man, 4 of 13, 11 points, 5 boards. Not good. Not good. Not good enough. It's not. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know, if he needs time off or if he needs to get his mind right or mentals. I don't know. But it has not looked good. 9 games in, are we going to wait till the 20-game marker? I know Bonte's mentioned that. Hey, if it's 20 games in still happening, We got a problem? We got a problem now. I think we do. Here's Steve Kerr talking about the fight that the team put up last night.
Down a couple key guys, playing the defending champs on the road at the end of a long trip. It was a hell of a fight. Our guys really competed and gave themselves a chance to win. And, tough way to finish, but couldn't be more proud of them and more excited about our team.
Steve, and it was funny. It was also frustrating, but it was funny just as an outside viewer, just seeing Steve Kerr irate as Bruce Frazier, assistant coach of the Golden State Warriors, tried to calm Steve down after the non-goaltend call. Obviously, it was clearly goaltend, wasn't called on the floor. It's a big 2-point swing there because then the Warriors would have a chance to win the game at the end. They didn't. Is what it is. It happens. They missed. Steve Kerr was irate, and Bruce Frazier, and Bruce Frazier, if you've seen him in the background, assistant coach, he's got the nice beard. He looks like the most interesting man in America. We've had him on the Morning Roast many a times, trying to push him back like, hey, don't get a tech here. And then you could just hear Steve, I shouldn't say here, you can see it, him mouth, yeah, get the F off me. So good. I love fiery Steve Kerr. And 9 games in, he was pissed off because this was an important game. This is a measuring stick game. And if you're the Golden State Warriors and you're Dub Nation, I think you handle yourselves very well. And you should feel very confident going forward that you can go toe-to-toe with this team once everyone's all healthy. And hell, both these teams may not be healthy when it's all said and done. But at least if you're not, you got a chance. You got Steph. You got Clay. Looney. You got all these guys. Saric, by the way. I wasn't mad at Saric. Getting some boards there. All right. Not the greatest shooting night. 4 points. But Kuminga didn't shoot the ball very well. Still a +9. Helping on other ways. Couple assists. More rebounds. 2 offensive. Like to see him crashing the boards a little bit more. Right? We mentioned Trace Jackson-Davis. 8 points there. Chris Paul. A little bit of everything last night. So 888-957-9570. Some of the positives you took away from last night's game. Klay Thompson. How'd you feel about the team's overall performance?
Thought we competed at a high level. We were right there. Gave ourselves a chance to win in a very hard place to win. And yeah, it was a long, grueling road trip, but going home and looking forward to having a 6-game homestand really lifts our spirits.
And it certainly will. As you split the road trip, 2 games apiece there, 6-3 on the year, 4th in the Western Conference right now. As you look at the future schedule for the Golden State Warriors, and they get back in action this Saturday, as I pull up my schedule here, against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a 5:30 game. Those are always fun. Primetime matchup. And then they have a back-to-back Sunday night against the T-Wolves. And then you got Tuesday, so it's a little 2-header against the T-Wolves. Anthony Edwards and co, they're going to be hanging out in the city for a little bit. Wonder what they're going to be doing. Because they got the in-season tournament group stage, second game of the in-season tournament for the Golden State Warriors, Tuesday, November 14th. And then they got Thunder. Then they got the Thunder again. And they got the Rockets, Tillon Brooks and co, before going back on the road to Phoenix Wednesday, November 22nd, right before Thanksgiving. So a nice little time for the Warriors to get back home, get healthy, get Draymond back, hopefully, get Gary Payton back, hopefully, and have a nice homestand. But it was the first thing I saw on the Comcast Business Text line this morning, 888-957-9570. Everyone's giving the Warriors their best shot, and the Warriors bring the best out of everyone. And that's true. People get up to play Stephen Curry. Something about him being one of the greatest players in the history of the game, they want to prove. And the Warriors, don't get it twisted, they're still enemy number 1 in the league. They are. The way they dominated this past decade left so many players and so many teams, GMs, coaches with a bad taste in their mouth and saltiness and jealousy that people are always gunning for the Golden State Warriors. But what was most impressive last night is they went toe-to-toe with the champs. And that was the big question mark, right? Oh, would the Warriors have given the Nuggets a better matchup than the Lakers did? Because it's always about matchups. Because it felt like it was almost like the big fish eats the little fish, eats the little fish. Like the Nuggets are a bad matchup for the Lakers, Lakers a bad matchup for the Warriors, and maybe the Warriors are a bad matchup for the Nuggets. And this is a never-ending cycle. So maybe, but again, them the breaks. Sometimes in the playoffs, and it doesn't happen often. I know Steve Kerr said last year was the exception, not the rule. Sometimes you get dealt a bad hand. And last year was a bad hand. They had to eat it. This year, maybe they're cooking a little bit more. Just maybe. 888-957-9570. One more here from Steve Kerr on his thoughts from a tough early road trip and looking forward to going back home.
When we saw the schedule at the beginning of the year and we saw 7 of the first 9 on the road, especially with a lot of new guys and, trying to fit the new guys in and, Draymond being out all of camp, it was, we looked at it and we said, we just got to get through that stretch. And we did more than that, going 6-3. We're 5-2 on the road. That's a great way to start the year out. So we're in a good position. The team's connected and competing every night and doing a great job, but I'm looking forward to getting some practice time. We've hardly practiced at all the last couple of weeks. So get home, we'll have some practices and some home games. I think we can get better.
Good morning to all of you on the YouTube chat. My family, Cruz Oliveros, Ken C., Damon Chang. It was nice meeting you, Damon, at the Fieldwork Brewing Co. a couple of weeks ago. Jack Matthews, my guy Vic, out in the Netherlands. That's my guy, Vic. All right? Sometimes he trolls me about the Lakers. That's all right. You deserve it right now. They're not very good. So have on it. Come on. I can take it. I'm a big boy. But right now, it's about the Golden State Warriors and taking positives away from a loss. And that's what we're doing today. If you don't like that, if you said there's no positives at all, well, I don't know what to tell you. I've been in a great mood this whole week. I'm feeling good. The air is crisp. It's getting darker now. Winter is coming. Shout out Game of Thrones. Not the last few seasons, but first 6 or whatever. House of Dragon. When's that coming back, by the way? Next summer? Can't wait. House of Dragon. Tell you what. It wasn't on like the first couple seasons level of Game of Thrones, but it's just a slight tier below. Very good. Very well acted. The casting was on point. Oh, can't wait for more House of Dragon. Those Targaryens, man, I gotta tell ya. Kind of cray-cray. Trace Jackson Davis, as I'm looking at the text line, getting a lot of love for Trace Jackson Davis. And a lot of love for the young guys. Pajemski with an and one, or as Clay likes to say,
Brandon Podziemski.
Yeah, Podziemski. He's a pretty good player.
Brandon Podziemski.
I love him. Polish pride, baby. Let's go. Yeah, Spadoni. It's Italian. My dad's side. Mom's side, Polish. So there you go. Robert Lewandowski. How about that one? Yeah, what you know about him? Bundesliga legend. Barcelona legend. Although I don't think he's been playing very well as of late for Barcelona. But Robert Lewandowski, he got robbed from the Ballon d'Or a couple of years ago, though. I think it went to Messi. Should have been Leva. I forgot how they could pronounce it. The W's are V's over there, so I'm doing my best. Here's Klay Thompson talking about Trace Jackson Davis and helping the Warriors this year.
Just his ability to get up. He's a great finisher above the rim, and he is a great lob threat. And he's NBA ready for a rookie. That's rare, and I love being around him.
Loves being around him. And that's the sentiment you keep hearing from the young guys. Draymond's talking about it. Stephen Curry's talked about it. Steve Kerr. They want the young guys around. They need their energy. And it's almost kind of like getting a puppy when you have the old dog, right? And there's been studies on this. No joke. You have an older dog, 10, 11 years old. You get a young puppy with them, then the old dog's like, what the hell? I don't like this dog. It's really annoying. It's irritating me. But that puppy gives those vets, and this veteran dog in this case, it gives them a boost. It gets them going more. The 10, 11-year-old dog, they like just lounge around the house, just fat, eating. It's like, whatever, chilling. I've done enough. But that puppy gives them an extra boost of energy. And you know what? That old dog, once the puppy comes in, it extends their lifespan. Yes, no joke. Studies on this. Getting the puppy with the old dog extends that older dog's lifespan a little bit because it gives them something to look forward to. It gives them energy. And right now, I think the young guys have given these old dogs, if you will, a little bit of a boost. How about that for an analogy at 5:26 a.m.? You like that? Well, there's more of that coming up on the other side. And I cannot believe at 888-957-9570, the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. I cannot believe Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers gave in to peer pressure. I can't believe it. We'll discuss that on the other side right here on the pregame show, 95.7 The Game.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon, iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon, and other gifts for the fam that they'll love this holiday.
Trade in your old iPhone and get a brand new iPhone 15 Pro and Apple TV.
San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Dub Nation, this is Tim Roy, and you're listening to the Pregame Show on 95.7 The Game.
Thanks, Tim. It's a pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Talking Warriors. Talking Nuggets. Nuggets 108. Warriors 105 as the Golden State Warriors split their road trip before coming home. Nice little homestand coming up. You got the Cavs. You got the T-Wolves. You got the floor that's going to be changed for the in-season tournament. I can't wait. I like the in-season tournament floors. I don't care what anyone else says. All right? I like them. I also like the Golden State Warriors' effort last night. They had a chance to win that game. No Draymond Green, no Gary Payton, no problem. No Jamal Murray on the other side for the Denver Nuggets, as he's going to be out for about a month, right? They're being very careful with that hamstring injury, as they should. You know, I talked about it yesterday. Not only were the Nuggets most consistent, they were the most healthy last year. I don't think that's a coincidence that they ended up winning the whole thing. Just look at some of the teams they went through. That's some injuries. Suns, Lakers, Heat. A lot of wear and tear on all those teams. The Nuggets, they look the freshest. Maybe it's training up there at a mile high. Does it, right? We'll see. But no Jamal Murray, that stunk. No Gary Payton II, no Draymond Green. We'll love to see these two teams obviously play again when they're both healthy. Maybe we won't get that. But what I do know is now, when the Golden State Warriors aren't at full strength, they can still go toe-to-toe with the Nuggets, who again, also weren't at full strength, but against Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, KCP, all these guys, right? You can look pretty damn good. Michael Porter Jr. God, I just love looking at certain box scores and like stats after games. Certain players, like Steph Curry is one of them. Nikola Jokic, 14 and 25 yesterday. 1 of 8 from beyond the arc. Still got 35 points. It's unreal. It's like, And his shot is so funny. The Joker. It's the most effortless, I have to shoot. It's almost like he does, it's an inconvenience for him, the way he shoots the ball. I'm done. If you're on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union, search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe. We're streaming all day, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. through 7 p.m. You can see me doing the, It's just like he doesn't care. God, I love Jokic. The body language, the way he plays, everything. And it's so funny how now he's turning into some sort of a villain around the league because he started winning. Funny how that happens, right? Everyone loves Steph Curry, a little baby-faced. Oh, until he started taking rings away from LeBron. Oh, he started winning. Don't like him. Oh, Kevin Durant? Oh, he went to that team? Oh, he started winning and dominating the league. Don't like him anymore. That's what happens. People get jealous. Haters hate. No, don't. Can't escape the Taylor Swift. Can't escape the Swifties. I can't. And now apparently they got like NFL gear with like Taylor Swift lyrics and Chiefs colors at Dick's Sporting Goods. Oh, God. Swear to God, if the missus tries to get any Chiefs gear or Taylor Swift lyrics, we're going to have a big problem. I'm not saying we're splitting up, but therapy might need to happen. Coming to Jesus moment. Can't be having that in a Raiders household. Just can't happen. Speaking of football, and we'll get back to the Golden State Warriors, continue to take your calls and text. As a gutty loss against the Denver Nuggets secured last night, 105-108. Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media yesterday. Big game. this Sunday. Jaguars, Niners. Jaguars on a 5-game winning streak, coming off a bye. 49ers on a 3-game losing streak, coming off a bye. 10 a.m., Fox, can't wait. Joe Davis, Daryl Moose Johnson on the call. Going to be phenomenal. Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, Doug Peterson. A lot of star power and sex appeal in this game. And I know you don't look at the Jaguars and think sex appeal. They're a hell of a quarterback. One of the best in the league. One of the best in the AFC. And that's saying something because that conference is stacked. They're right up there. They had a hell of a comeback in the playoffs last year. We all saw it, even if it sounded like Tony Dungy and my guy Al Michaels were falling asleep on the call. And by the way, Al Michaels back at it again. Tonight, week 10 officially starts. Panthers, Bears. Oh my God. Again, the national primetime games this week. We got Panthers, Bears tonight. We've got Colts, Patriots Sunday morning in Frankfurt. Shout out to Bundesliga. Then you got Raiders, Jets Sunday night in Las Vegas. And then Monday, you got Bills, Broncos. Those last two I'm not as mad at. Raiders are interesting. Aiden O'Connell, Antonio Pierce. Let's see if they can do it again. Beat up both New York teams. Interested to see Aiden O'Connell against this vaunted Jets defense. And Zach Wilson, he just stinks. So I think it's more so just Zach Wilson. No one wants to see that. And I understand. Both these teams aren't very good. One's 500, one's one game under 500. So maybe I'm a little biased. But I think the Broncos have been playing a lot better lately. I think everyone's still remembering that shellacking, that 70-point bomb the Dolphins dropped on them. But outside of that, they've been playing pretty well. They beat the Chiefs. And the Bills desperately need a win. The AFC, all of a sudden, I just mentioned the Raiders and the Jets, they're in the playoff conversation. How? I don't know. But the Bills, they got to wake up. So those two games, but Panthers, Bears tonight, oh my God. Over under on 30 minutes watching any of that game. Now I'm a sick individual, and I know all of you are sickos because you're listening to the pregame show with Joe Spadoni at 5:38 a.m. What the hell are you doing? Love you guys. Oh. The pregamers, you know what? The roasters, they're fine. The Steiny and Gurus, they're fine. The Willard and Dibbers are fine. The best of the gamers, I don't even know if that's a thing. Do you guys talk to Grandy on the best of the game when he's out here? But the pre-gamers, there's something else. They're the best because they understand what the pregame show is. We're the appetizer. We're the chips and salsa. All right? We're not flashy. You know, we're not the sizzling fajitas. We're not the baby back ribs. We're the chips and salsa. We get the party started. We get the job rolling. We hand it over to the main courses, Bonte and Shasky, Steiny and Goo, Willard and Dibbs. We understand our role. But I ain't hear anyone ever complain about chips and salsa. Ever. If you mess up chips and salsa, by the way, what are you doing? Like, that's got to be the worst tasting salsa, or like a stale chip. Even a stale chip, you can just drench it in all the salsa and it's fine anyways, right? Like, how do you mess that up? Certain things I don't understand. Like, I've had bad pizza before, but even bad pizza, it's like, it's still pizza. Give me some like ranch or something or some Tapatio. Yes, I put ranch on pizza. Yes, I'm Italian. Get over it. It's delicious. I put some Tapatio on there too. How about that? Is that sacrilege? I don't care. All right? Loyal to the soil first. I'm an American, then I'm Italian. All right? And the American in me wants ranch on my pizza. All right. As I digress here, Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media yesterday. And it was very interesting to hear what he had to say in regards to Steve Wilks, Jacksonville, preferences in the press box or on the field, all that. I'm going to tease it again because I want to start fresh. But 888-957-9570. Your concern level, 49er fans, heading into this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's the concern level at? Because I've talked about it all week. Hey, if they lose this game, That's a 4-game losing streak. You're not feeling great about yourselves. I get it. But I'm looking at the schedule. I'm looking at the Buccaneers. I'm looking at the Seahawks. Okay. They just got blown out. Bucs just lost a heartbreaker to C.J. Stroud. I'm looking at all that. Looking at Arizona another time. Washington Commanders. You lose this game, the season's not over. Why? Because the NFC is not very good. It's not. And I'll take a Niners team. Hell, the Niners somehow, some way got in there at 7-9. 8-9. Oh, you can't do it. 8-9 now. 9-8. I'm still taking them in most of these games. Because of Kyle Shanahan. He showed me in the past. And Kyle we trust in December. In January. And Kyle we trust this Sunday? Well, after you hear what he had to say yesterday, I'm not so sure. Because I think some panic is setting in Santa Clara. I'll explain on the other side. 888-957-9570 is the number. It's the pregame show. Joe Spadoni. Come on back. One more segment. 95.7 The Game.
You're invited to the grand opening of the Madison, a stunning collection of new condos now selling from the high 300,000s, located at the San Francisco Shipyard. Wake up to bay views surrounded by open spaces, parks, and walking trails.
Plus, enjoy cozy courtyards, fitness center, a lounge, a dog washing station, and more.
to refer qualified applicants. Simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com to be notified of all open positions. And we invite our listeners to visit odyssey.com/careers to view a listing of all job openings.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pre-game show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. One more segment here before handing it off to the main course. The main breakfast course. What is that? Huevos rancheros? Whether that's a breakfast burrito, whether that's, short stacks, bacon and eggs, whatever you want to call them. It's the morning roast. Just be sure to get a cup of coffee with them. Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky here in about 13 minutes or so, 12 minutes, something like that. Math hard. Broadcast and communications major. Warriors, 105. Nuggets, 108. Warriors take an L. They split the road trip, 2 games apiece before coming home. Saturday, take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Prime time, 5:30. A lot of positives take away. The young guys looked good, held their own. No Draymond, no Gary Payton II. Had a chance to win still. No Jamal Murray on the other side for the Nuggets, but they still got that man, Nikola Jokic, who is a problem. Guy's the hefty unicorn, as I call him now. Don't know if that's been used, but that's his nickname for me now. The hefty unicorn. Not the hefty lefty. R.I.P. Jared Lorenzen. Love that guy. But the hefty unicorn. That's him. Nikola Jokic. And speaking of which, before we get back to the 49ers, who have a huge, and I mean huge matchup in Jacksonville, and hopefully it doesn't turn into Saxonville for the 49ers. You like that? So I think that's what they say when all the sacks are going down the social media account. They get a little nuts down there in Duval County. And the offense, can they get me 20 points? I'm locking it in. I need a lock sounder wherever the hell it is. Come on. The Niners got to score 20 this week, right? They got to. They got to. But Kyle Shanahan, Steve Wilkes, the 49ers, they gave into some peer pressure. They did. There's all this talk because the defense hasn't been playing well the last few weeks. All this talk. Why isn't Steve Wilkes on the sideline? They're used to Robert Saleh. They're used to D'Amico Ryans. They need to be out on the sideline. Get a pulse of the team, bro. Come on. It's football. Has anyone seen Steve Wilkes? Does he look like a raw guy to you? No. His specialty's in the secondary. He likes being up with the bird's eye view. Well, according to reports yesterday, and according to the man himself, Kyle Shanahan, Steve Wilkes will be on the sideline this week. Kyle, tell me about it.
We're going to put him on the field this week. Something we've talked about for a little bit. There's pluses to it and minuses to it, but we'll see what we like about this week.
Kyle, what is your preference when it comes to being on the field or the press box?
I love being in the box. I think that's the best spot. I feel like you guys would judge me too hard if I went up there. If it ever gets cold enough, I might be. I like a chair and a desk and a lot of stuff to write down and things like that. I had to do this for 9 years before I got here. I was only in the box 1 year, my last year, so I was 8 on the field before that. There's pluses and minuses to both, so you usually go with your preference.
And why Wilkes started the season in the box, and why the change?
Just because of some of the stuff you do in the box, all the advantages to it, which are great, but I kind of wanted to be down and be near our players a little bit. They've had that more just with the linebacker communication in the past, and I want him to be down there so he can talk to guys a little bit more.
All right. It worked. I don't think Kyle Shanahan ever took the DARE program like I did. You got to dare to resist peer pressure. But the fandom, the chatter, the media, they got to him. Wilkes, you got to get on the sideline. Can you be rah-rah, get a closer feel to these guys? Like Saleh. By the way, Robert Saleh throwing his quarterback under the bus again. Zach Wilson asked about why they haven't made a quarterback change he was on with the Michael Kay show on ESPN radio. It's like, I plead the fifth. Yikes. But D'Amico Ryans, he's a rah-rah guy too. You need to get a feel for this team, all right? Well, here's what Brian Baldinger had to say about this whole notion, because we asked him about it a couple weeks ago, about Steve Wilks, being on the sidelines or being up in the box. And this is Brian Baldinger, NFL analyst, former NFL offensive lineman. He's played the game. He knows his stuff. Guy's been covering the league for a very long time. His thoughts.
Dan Quinn, he coordinates the Cowboys defense. He sits up in a booth. Yeah. I mean, when you start, honestly, Bonte, if you start saying, well, is this going to make a difference? Like, if you're thinking about a coach is upstairs or downstairs, like maybe that's the problem right there. Not that he's upstairs or downstairs. It's like, who gives a? Nobody gives a crap. Right. Like, call the defense. Right. Like, if the guy's down the field, honestly, hell, if Shanahan's upstairs calling the plays, call the plays upstairs. Like, it should make a difference. The play's to play. You got to execute the play.
I'm with you.
And so, I'm sure you got the bye week. I'm sure there's all kinds of player-only meetings, which is always a problem. But look, they've lost 3 in a row. By the time they get to the field, the next time, they will not have won a game in a month.
And that game is this Sunday, and Steve Wilks will be on the sidelines in Jacksonville, Florida. Niner fans, how do you feel about this? 888-957-9570. I think it's reeks of desperation. Reeks of desperation. He needs to have a pulse on this team. He can't have that pulse from a bird's eye view when Kyle Shanahan himself just said he prefers that in the first place. Like, what's going to change? And you heard Baldy there. They probably had a players-only meeting. They probably did. And the linebackers like, I want Wilks to be more like D'Amico and Robert Saleh. He's not. Spoiler alert. That's not who he is. So are we going to see a huge shift in, the defense and how they're playing? We'll see. If all of a sudden everything changes, you know what? I will, backtrack, back up the truck and say, I was wrong. But for this to change everything, him going on the sidelines, it's BS. I'm sorry. To act like this is going to change anything. How about you score more than 17 points, first of all? Can we do that this week? Instead of worrying about whether Wilks is on the sidelines or not? Can we do that? Hey, from the bird's eye view, they've been getting the turnovers that you needed. They've been doing that. The offense has been, throwing up on themselves in the red zone. Can you score more than 17 points? That's still what I'm on. Can you do that? Huge test this week's in Jacksonville. Huge test. 888-957-9570. 408 on the Comcast Business Text line. Whiny ass Niner fans getting their wish. I don't think it was Niner fans. I honestly think it was the players. Players getting their wish. Players only meetings. You heard Baldy there. I'm kind of with them. This has a feel of we're not playing well, so it can't be our fault. Has to be his fault. Shout out to Fred Warner, all-pro, best linebacker in the league, saying, no, it's on us. Coaches can tell us to do whatever. It's on us, ultimately. That's the leader of the team telling you that. Now, if he's saying something behind the scenes, I'd be shocked. But he doesn't, present himself like he's that sort of a person. Say one thing, do another. That doesn't seem like the Fred Warner I know. So, who had this players-only meeting? Did it happen? Feels like it. Certainly feels like it. I don't feel like Kyle Shanahan all of a sudden was like, yeah, I was listening, to a lot of sports talk radio this week. And a lot of the callers made some good points. I think you got to be on the sidelines. I don't think that's what happened when he spoke to Steve Wilks, defensive coordinator. I could be wrong. Maybe Kyle's a P1. Who knows? I feel like you'd be a big fan of Brian in Palo Alto. Kyle Shanahan. Similar cadences, styles. But it feels like this has the players, again, going up to Kyle and being like, Kyle, we were so used to D'Amico and Saleh. We were doing so well under them. I don't know what's going on now. He's not. I can't communicate him on the sideline. I was like, well, you can't communicate him. There's this thing called a phone. They have these headsets. You absolutely can communicate with them. But he's got to be up close and personal. Right? And Kyle's got to listen to all of his defensive players because that's not his strong suit. He's an offensive guy. He's going to, err to the side of the players. A la Mark Davis a couple weeks ago. Hey, come talk to Mark. What's going on? What do you know about Josh McDaniels? In which every single player said, we hate him. Okay, he gone. Kyle Shanahan signing with the players and be like, okay, if you guys feel this way, hey, Wilkes, come on down. We'll see if it changes anything. We'll see. About the actual game, and a more pressing matter for the 49ers is Trent Williams didn't practice yesterday. What's going on with that ankle sprain? I mean, he's had the bye week. He's had multiple games off now. Shanny, what's going on?
I think obviously there is. I mean, just when he's got a lot of history in there with stuff. It didn't show up as a high or anything like that. But when you've had that over your career, there's a number of things that, with how it's taken longer than expected to heal, it's more than a low.
More than a low ankle sprain, but not a high. So a middle, is that what we're calling a mid ankle sprain? Whatever it is, it's not good. They got this guy in Jacksonville named Josh Allen. Don't know if you've heard of him. And not that Josh Allen in Buffalo. Josh Allen, Jacksonville. Guy gets after the quarterback. They like to move him around. No Trent Williams. Hey, at least you got Debo back. At least you got Debo. It's good to go. Full participant. That does help. So I'm looking at the offense this week. Debo, potentially no Trent Williams. Okay. I would like them to be all healthy. If that can't happen, you need to establish the running game. And maybe it was predicated all on Debo Samuel. That wide back role, getting back to that. See if it can happen. Take some of the heat off McCaffrey, who's taking shots, who's still dealing with an oblique injury. So, 888-957-9570. Start lining them up for Bonta Hill and Joe Shasky. They'll get into more of this Wilkes situation, more on the Warriors and Nuggets. Nuggets 108, Warriors 105, as the Warriors end up going 2-2 on the road trip before coming home this Saturday against the Cleveland Cavaliers. One more show tomorrow on a Phil Collins Friday. Can't wait to talk to you all tomorrow. It's Joe Spadoni in the pregame show, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at 8.